customer service training, and annual employee trainings. Miscellaneous costs, you have some, looks like some postage, some job fair supplies, just miscellaneous, looks like recruitment type items, and labor items with the posters and things like that. And then lastly, there was capital outlay originally budgeted, but with the mayor's version, they were removed. So this report shows what was requested and what the mayor put in his budget. So, and again, Mayor, like you said, with the capital outlay, if you want to touch upon that again, it's just we're going to revisit it and see how things go.
Mr. Chairman, again, I'll probably sound like a broken record, but for most department heads that are coming here, they obviously have visioned or visualized needs in their department, and we're not saying we're not going to do them. We just have to literally eat the apple one bite at a time, and there's just so many unknowns right now.
Any questions on the HR side? If not, the next department would be insurance risk management, and I got it on the screen here, and it's you guys should have this page printed out. Okay, so as you can see, the fiscal year 20 projected is increasing approximately 288,000, which we talked about during the overview, and then next year that's being brought back down by 223,000 for a total budget of 2.6 million, and there's no personal services in this item, so you've got professional service and contractual services, so we're going to bring that up right now with the detail. Okay, so let me make this a little smaller here. Okay, so as we talked about, professional services is budgeted for $500,000, and that is for legal services, for risk management cases, self-insured retention deductions, and then yeah, so those are pretty much the only items that come out of that line item. And then you have, like I said, then you have this mere reduction, so how you see the supporting details. You have the contractual services, which obviously the liability, the insurance premiums is the large ticket item in this account. And then the department did a good job of breaking down the premium cost per liability, so it's good detail there. And then, yeah, so basically it's all your premiums and things for the liability insurance and other items for the city, so property and vehicle and all that stuff.
Just a couple of comments. The market conditions probably prior to COVID-19, we're probably anticipating an 8 to 10% increase on insurance premiums. Have no idea what that's going to look like down the road. And this would just be for the liability side. We'll talk about healthcare the next segment, but just wanted to advise too that we are in renewal with all of our carriers right now. The one thing that we're trying to do, because we've kind of had a mid-May renewal date, it's really hard for Jason and his team, as well as myself and my team, to kind of maneuver that. So we are probably trying to look at getting policies from May 9th through June 30th of 21. So we may see some increased expenditures, but obviously Jason's team does they take the portion that's for each respective budget and breaks that out accordingly. The one expense that we would not have this year would be the $150,000 for the extended reporting period policy from One Beacon, which was our original general liability provider. So that we will not have to renew with them, and we've already paid upfront 2 years on that coverage.
So on contractual services, real quick, the current budget is 1.6 basically, and we're at right now 1.75. What were those increases from basically?
Okay, so
yeah,
1.6, yep.
Right here, yep.
So just blanketing in an 8 to 10% increase on the current premiums. Now, obviously, if we get renewals and they're flat, we can amend and make changes, but the market conditions probably 30 to 45 days, maybe 60 days earlier, we're indicating an 8 to 10% increase.
And if I may, Sheila, you spoke about before is that the premium or the insurance year ends in May, so
right.
Yeah.
There's a month and a half or 2 months
right.
of the new premium, so that's why you see that increase there, because we have to
Yeah.
account for that increase for those 2
Okay.
months. So that's why you see that there for the current year.
And hopefully we can get that kind of corrected and kind of just be more of a true picture then going forward.
Okay, any other questions on insurance risk management? And of course, the couple other accounts is the the workers' comp self-insurance as well too is in there. And we kind of keep that budgeted at the same level each year, so, and it really depends on worker comp claims. All right, with that being said, then we're going to move on to the employee fringes. The employee fringes, which again is related to pretty much just retirees. The major ones is retiree health insurance and then the pension contribution. So as you can see, we're actually expecting about $254,000 decrease to the fiscal year 20 budget, and that's representative of really just a lot of cost savings in the retiree health care area, which Sheila will go over, I assume. And then going into fiscal year 21, there is approximately a $341,000 increase or 6%, and that's just based on estimated increases in the retiree health insurance and the pension plan, because we already have our evaluation done we know what our pension contribution is going to be already for this current year coming up, so that's already taken into account in this budget. So without further ado, I'll hand over to Sheila if you want to talk about the health insurance side.
Yes. So I've handed out our executive summary that we produce every year, and the reason that we do this is twofold. When we went into this high deductible structure in 2012, we wanted to make sure that it made sense and that it continues to be a savings mechanism or a way to slow down the rate of increase on health insurance premiums across the board. So what we have to do every year is kind of do an analysis of if we bought our health insurance programs just straight up first dollar, what would that look like fully insured versus buying a high deductible plan and then wrapping it with our health reimbursement account. So within this document, and I'm not going to go over all of these pages, but for your reading pleasure, as if you don't have enough paper at budget time. Just kind of want to go over some highlights about the renewals for this year. So on the third page where it says medical utilization review at the top, it kind of has the analysis for all of our renewals. So basically, Blue Cross Blue Shield, we are expecting almost a 12% increase on the blue side, and the other two plans, HAP and Blue Care Network, would be flat. So our biggest expense kind of surrounds this plan design. It is a PPO plan. And it carries, a large portion of our retiree and active population. Most newer plans that we're offering kind of model more of the Blue Care Network plan, so we're able to see some reductions. But this will kind of give you exactly what the carriers looked at when they were basically doing our rates for the year. They kind of anticipated all the claims, what they collected in premiums, if we had any large claims, which those, there's a stopgap on them for $175,000, but there's also a community pooling rate that you can be additionally charged from the carrier. So we did have one of those. So we didn't pay the $629, but we paid the $175, and then we had a pooling charge of $202. For a big claim, and those would be an example of a claim like that would be a cancer claim, someone in a treatment program for cancer. Any questions on those three buckets in the renewals?
I got a question.
Sure.
So we pay a rate to the insurance company.
We do.
Okay, and it's based on our employees, our retirees, all that stuff. However, if somebody gets real sick, we have to pay an additional $200,000 because they got cancer?
Well, every claim, Chairman, comes with a stop loss, kind of like a deductible system. Because obviously, we know that the cost of those claims can be $1 million. So there's kind of a stop loss for us that we know we're gonna expend at least 175, but then when your renewal comes, there is kind of a pooling charge that is assessed. So yes, it seems like, hey, we already paid the premium, we shouldn't be charged, there's a stop loss. But the cost of the claims, I can tell you, can be,
Sure.
a
No,
cancer
I
claim can be
understand that. I
up to $1
just-
million.
You know, I have the mindset is if you pay for something, you pay for something, you know?
Right.
And it's like, oh, wait a minute, this guy costs a little more, so, you know, we
Sure.
want more money. It just,